Hello and welcome to the measurements tutorial. To start, you'll want to wear something that is both comfortable and form-fitting. Loose-fitting clothing can hide certain landmarks on the body, as well as the extra fabric bulk can throw off the measurements. So go ahead and get changed into something that is form-fitting but comfortable, and let's get started. To start, you'll need a writing utensil, a piece of paper, a cloth tape measure, and a piece of string or yarn or ribbon that you will tie around your natural waist, like so. This will serve as a landmark for future measurements. To find your natural waist, you can tip side to side, and it will naturally kind of sit right there. I kind of think of it as being right where your ribs tend to stop at your sides. Right there, and you'll tie it in a little bow. Not too tight that it pinches, but not too loose that it sags. Like this is too loose. So we'll tie it just a little tighter, like that. While I will be taking these measurements on a female dress form, most of these measurements do apply for all genders. So go ahead and follow all of them exactly. Also, please make sure that you are wearing the appropriate undergarments. This means whatever undergarments you plan on wearing under your final costume, or if you don't have them yet, whatever you estimate will be the closest to what you will wear under your final costume. It's important to do these measurements with a buddy. A lot of them, if you try to do the measurements on yourself, when you twist, will throw off the measurements. So make sure that you have a second person here to take the measurements for you. And we will go ahead and get started with the neck measurement. And this is around the base of the neck. Again, all of these measurements are not too loose, but not too tight. Something around, if you were wearing a crew neck t-shirt, or hitting this clavicle bone here is the neck measurement. Moving on to the chest or bust measurement. This is taken from the side. I'll stand to the side of my model and we will take it across the widest part of the chest, basically the nipples, and making sure that we have a nice horizontal line straight across. That is the chest or bust measurement. If you have a bust, the next measurement is going to be the under bust measurement, which is exactly where you think it is. Same as before, nice horizontal line across the body like that. Not too tight, not too loose. After that is the waist measurement. And this is taken at the ribbon that we've tied around our waist. Like so, that is the natural waist measurement. Next is the high hip measurement. This is where a lot of gentlemen wear their pants, and it's taken where you can feel your hip bones right here. The model will point to them for your measure taker so that they can see where that measurement is. I'm gonna take this again from the side of my model or performer or person or friend, hopefully, like so, and that is the high hip measurement. Next is the low hip measurement, and this is taken across the widest part of the hips and the widest part of the butt. On some people, that is not the same spot. I know for me, my hips are wider here, but then my butt is a little bit higher. So we're gonna find a happy medium with this. Again, taking the measurement from the side of my model, just across here. This is the low hip measurement. The next measurement that we'll take is the shoulder seam measurement, which is taken from the base of the neck basically to where the edge of the shoulder starts to curve, or where you would expect a t-shirt to end. So actually where my tank top ends is kind of a good spot. I might go a little bit further out. My mannequin does not have arms, and it makes it very clear where her shoulder seam measurement is at. So that'll be taken just on top of the shoulder like so, like that, here to here. The next measurement is the neck to waist, front and back. This is taken from this little point right here in the front, straight down to our waist ribbon. And then the same thing in the back. We're going to find that little bone at the base of the neck right here. Measures from there straight down to the waist. Next is going to be the shoulder to waist, and this is basically a suspender. So we're going to take it from our shoulder seam across the chest or bust straight down. We don't need to curve under the bust at all. We just go straight down like so. And then the same for the back. And this is the shoulder to waist, front to back. And this is taken from the middle of the shoulder, so not at the neck and not at the end of the shoulder, but right smack dab in the middle there. The next measurement we'll take is the shoulder width measurement, which is from this vague point that we've kind of decided on the shoulder to the other one, straight across in both the front and the back, like that. And then in the back, see how my tape kind of curves across the shoulders? We're gonna go ahead and follow that curve, like so. The next measurement is the width, and that is taken in the front and the back. And this is the width from basically where my armpit and my arm meet, so that kind of crease here, taken across to the other one there. So it's not as easy to see without her arms. So on me, it would be from this fleshy part that I have side to side, here to here, excuse me, like so. And then the same thing goes for the back. I'll do this on her, where my armpit and arm kind of meet here, the squishy part. Like so. The next three measurements are important if you have boobs. If you don't have boobs, skip this part. The first measurement is the bust span, and we're going to go from the side seam, which is about halfway past my body. My shirt conveniently has a seam here, but if yours doesn't, go ahead and eyeball about halfway there. You're going to take from this seam all the way across the nips to the other side, and that'll look something like this, like that. The next measurement is the point-to-point measurement. So if I'm measuring my partner, I'm going to ask them to take 2 fingers and point to their nips, to the apex of the bust, like so, and I'm going to measure from finger to finger so that I'm not actually touching my partner, like so. And then they're going to keep one hand there, and you're going to measure from shoulder to point. And this is taken from the middle of the shoulder to where they are pointing to their finger, the apex of the bust. The next measurement is the arm's eye measurement. It's basically like the sleeve hole measurement. So I'm going to ask my partner to extend their arm outwards. I will loop my tape measure around their arm while it's extended outwards, like so. And without measuring quite yet, I'll have them relax their arm back down, hanging like normal at the side. And then while it's hanging, take this measurement. This is really good to have a partner for. Me doing it by myself is not going to be accurate, but this is what it looks like so. See how after I had my arm relaxed back down, it creates more room, which actually follows kind of the line of my tank top. We don't want something that's way tight up here that's going to cut off circulation. So by having them relax their arm back down before you take the measurement, you create more of a gap and room in there for them. The next measurement is the side seam. And this, again, we don't want to go all the way up into the armpit. We're going to take it from a respectable amount. My tank top has a pretty good wide opening here. I might take it a little bit farther up. We're going to go from there down to the waistline here, like so. And that is the side seam measurement. The next measurement that we'll take is the shoulder to hip measurement. And this is to make sure that I have all of my leaders' shirts fitting them and not being too short on them. So we'll take it from the center of the shoulder all the way down like a suspender to the hip bone, or where the pants are worn, like so. And this is the shoulder to high hip measurement. We'll take that in the front, as well as the back, like so. The next measurements are a series of arm measurements. So I'm going to start by finding that point on my partner's shoulder around here. Well, I'm gonna start actually by asking them to do what I've been calling a sad robot. So you've got full robot, and we're gonna make it a little sad, or sad chicken wing sort of thing. And you're gonna have my partner hold that position and measure from this shoulder point to the outside of the elbow, measuring down the arm like so to this elbow point. That is the shoulder to elbow measurement. And I'll hold there and measure all the way down to this nice big wrist bone that I can feel here, and that is the shoulder to wrist measurement. The next is the arm's eye to elbow and arm's eye to wrist measurement. So we'll do our sad chicken wing one more time and measure from the inside of the armpit here down to the elbow, and then following that down to that nice other side of the wrist here. That is the arm's eye to elbow and arm's eye to wrist measurements. The next measurements are bicep, forearm, wrist, and fist. I'm going to have my partner flex their dominant bicep, and I will measure around the largest point of the bicep. Something like that. Next is the forearm measurement, so I'll have them maybe do this to flex their forearm a little bit. We're going to measure again around the largest portion of the forearm, not too far from the elbow, like so. Next is the wrist measurement, like that. Next is the fist measurement. So I'm actually going to have my partner make a duck hand like so, and then measure around that duck hand following the top of the knuckles and around the meaty part of the fist. A little hard to do by myself, but hopefully you get the idea. Like that. Oh, we're struggling. Something like that. This measurement tells me how much room I need to get my hand into a sleeve. The next measurements all have to do with our legs. So the first one is the outseam, and we will take the outseam from the natural waist and from the high hip measurement, and we'll go first starting at the natural waist, following all the way down. If you have a curvy partner like I am, don't bother following the curve of the hip down, just let it fall straight down, and this will be taken from the natural waist all the way to the floor. That is outseam at natural waist. The next one will move down to that hip, high hip spot again, and take the outseam to the floor from the high hip measurement. So that's outseam at high hip. The next measurement is the inseam measurement. So I, as the model, am going to pull my pants up to where I like the way that they fit on my crotch, and I'm going to take the small end of the tape measure, and I'm going to, as the model, hold it where all four seams of my pants meet, right between my legs in here. And my partner is going to get down and measure along the inside of the leg, like so, to the floor, while I, as the model, as best I can, hold it here while standing up nice and straight and tall and staring straight ahead and not looking down at my partner, but nice and straight and tall while they measure all the way down to the floor. And that is the inseam measurement. The next measurement is going to be the thigh measurement. So my model is going to take a half step forward, kind of a lunge, and lean on this front leg so that we get a nice thigh flex happening. And my partner will measure around the middle of the thigh, like that. Next measurement is the below knee measurement, or the below knee measurement. And this is taken exactly where you think it is, right below the knee while it's still in this position, like so. The next measurement is the calf measurement, taken like so, around the largest part of the calf. And then the ankle measurement, taken around the ankle, like so. Next is the half girth front and half girth back. This is a series of 4 measurements, so I will ask my partner to place the small end of the tape measure once again where all 4 seams of their pants meet in between their legs. I'm going to go ahead and do it for my partner. We'll measure it twice in the front, starting from here, going to the hip measurement here, and the natural waist measurement here. Making sure that our ribbon has not crawled around at all. Sometimes it likes to go up or down. Just make sure that we've replaced that ribbon as we've been moving around. And then we're going to take the same measurement from the back. Having my partner hold the tape measure, we'll measure up to the back girth measurement at hip, back girth at waist. Our final measurement is going to be the full girth, and this is wrapped through the legs and up over one shoulder. Don't worry about following the curvature of the body. It's okay if there's room here or in the front or back. And if your tape measure is not long enough, you can go ahead, say it ends just about here. Have your partner start their finger, place their finger there, and hold it while you flip over and adjust and measure the rest of the distance. And that is the full girth measurement.